Welcome to YOUCANIC. In this video I'm going to show you how to check your Audi if someone has changed the instrument cluster so they can show lower mileage on the instrument cluster, or maybe they used some sort of programming tool to change the mileage on the cluster. The thing is that Audi stores the mileage on the engine control unit in addition to the cluster that you see here. They also the transmission control unit also on its own keeps track of the mileage. So usually there is at least 3 places where Audi is going to store that mileage. Now it could be in other places as well. It could be in the fuel pump, it could be in the ABS control module, it could be in the ignition module as well, but I'm going to show you how to check 3 places. So what people sometimes do to change the mileage on these vehicles, so they would they'll go and put a little filter or mileage stopper, it's called sometimes, behind the cluster, so the cluster no longer communicates with just for the mileage, no longer communicates two-way with the engine, so it will keep increasing the mileage. So it will, if you drive, the mileage keeps going up, but it does not send the mileage back to verify the mileage between the cluster, the engine, and the transmission. So this little device, if you pull out of the cluster and somebody has installed that, you know somebody has messed with that vehicle. It looks something like this. So I'll show you how to use the YOUCANIC scanner to actually check the mileage on all those control modules to verify if the mileage on your Audi has been changed. So here we're going to use the YOUCANIC scanner, and we're going to go to Diagnostics, and then we're going to select Audi. Then we're going to you can select Smart VIN. It'll pick up the VIN number and auto-identify the model. If it does not, sometimes that does not always work. You can manually just come here and select your model. There's a lot of Audi. This is a really long list. And this one, the scanner does pick up the VIN number. Now you do have to make sure the ignition is turned on. And then you go to Smart VIN. And then hit OK. And then this is US model with a 3.0 turbo engine. We press OK. Then we go to Diagnostics and then go to Control Modules. So here are the 3 control modules that store the instrument. The mileage is the engine control system, transmission, and if you scroll down here is the instrument control system. This is what you actually see on the instrument cluster, and if somebody has put a blocker between this module and the other 2 above, you're only going to see what's stored here. So let's go to instrument cluster first and check this. So here we're connected to the instrument cluster. We're going to go to live data, go to custom list. I'm just going to hit select all. Here you see all sort of data. If you're driving, you see the speed and everything. But if you keep scrolling down, you'll see the mileage on the vehicle. So if you see here, sometimes it might be in more than one field. So if Audi uses this thing called channels, but if you see where channel 11, sometimes it might show there. In this case, it's actually showing on channel 2. If you scroll back up and you see channel 2-1, you can see the mileage 104,000 miles for 175. So this is what's stored in that instrument cluster. So if we go back now, we want to verify that number with what's stored in the engine control unit and the transmission. Because usually what happens is that someone will either code the cluster and lower the mileage, or put that stopper that we showed earlier, and they would not go and change it in the engine control unit because it's a lot harder to do that. So we're in the engine control unit. We go to live data here, go to custom list. You can select, this is a really long list, you can select it. Here it is going in this one, is 2015 Audi Q7. It is channel 85, so I'll select all for now, and then you just have to scroll down and go down to channel 85. And this is a very long list, a lot of data that gets monitored by the engine. Now this data does get updated live, but I'm scrolling very fast, so it's not giving it enough time to update. As we go here, Let me go to 85. I went too far. Okay, yeah, so you can see here, that's updating. Channel 85, vehicle mileage matches with the other one, 104,475. Okay, so now we exit this one, and we go to the transmission control module, auto transmission control unit, select that. So we're connected to the transmission, go to live data, all data stream, and you can see what the transmission monitors. So it will also hit select all here, and it also monitors the mileage. So you just have to scroll through here until you find the mileage. So as you scroll down here, let's see, you can see transmission mileage 104,477. So you can compare those three and see if they match. Now, thing to keep in mind, most newer vehicles from 2015 and newer are going to have mileage stored in at least 3 control modules, like we saw here, where it was the instrument cluster, engine, and transmission. Older vehicles, it was only stored in the instrument cluster, be that Audi, Mercedes, or American US cars, Japanese cars. They only had the mileage stored in the cluster. So like pre-2000 vehicles, someone will go swap a cluster, and then the car will show lower mileage, including on Audis. But now this mileage is, and on newer cars, the mileage is stored in even more control modules, so it's a lot harder to change the mileage and not be able to detect it. But these are some of the common ones. Even other BMW, Mercedes are gonna, Lexus, and pretty much all cars now, it will store the mileage in at least engine, transmission, cluster, and then another one, ignition module, is a pretty common one. So you might have to just go, sometimes ABS as well, but you might have to go into the modules and then start looking at live data, see if that value is there for the mileage. But that's how you can use the YOUCANIC scanner to check the mileage. Now, it's not going to be 100% bulletproof in that sense, because there could be places that or people have figured out how to change the mileage in all these control modules, including engine, transmission. So you'd come with the scanner and you will see the same mileage in all the different control modules. Now, with that said, those places who can do that are much harder to find. So keep that in mind. But just because it's shown the matching, it's not always 100% guaranteed that the mileage has not been changed. It's still possible if someone has changed it, but it's a lot harder, and most people don't even go through all the hassle. They just replace the cluster and put a mileage stopper, and that's it. And it just shows the new mileage, the lowered mileage. But that's all. Thank you for watching YOUCANIC, where you can be the mechanic.